Good evening and welcome, VIPs. I'm Cheryl Wills, anchor with New York One News, and it's my privilege to be hosting ECPAT USA's 2021 Freedom Awards. Tonight is an evening of education, celebration, and support of ECPAT USA's work protecting children from sex trafficking and exploitation. I encourage you to watch this on your laptop or PC for best quality. This way you can use your smartphone to scan important QR codes and keep an eye on our amazing auction throughout the evening without missing the program. Now, if you're watching right now, you're either one of our special VIPs or you've been invited by one of our generous sponsors. Our partners who give at this significant level elevate ECPAT USA's work. And a special thank you goes out to our gold sponsor, American Airlines CWT. Now, I'm lucky enough to talk about the fun parts of this evening, but I also need to warn you that as we move through the program, some parts may be hard to hear. We know this work can be tough. I've been reporting and writing about human trafficking for decades now, so I know firsthand the importance of ECPAT USA and tonight's honorees in preventing these forms of exploitation. We're going to learn more about that tonight. And I'm pleased to announce that we have a generous match tonight that you can help us unlock. The Bros family, on behalf of the Women Inclusion Project, will match up to $30,000 of the money raised tonight for ECPAT USA's programs. So please check out our auction, bid generously, contribute through our Make a Donation page, and keep your eye on that leaderboard. Many of you were provided a special beverage in your party pack for tonight from Gracious Goodies. That's a women-owned small business that's put together a delicious treat for our VIPs. So cheers to you for being here tonight. I invite you to join me, grab some ice, and mix up that drink. And while you're getting settled, let's turn to ECPAT USA's board member, Sharon Appleman. She's an accomplished cellist who recently put her incredible skills to the test. Watch. Wow, what an incredible talent. Thanks so much, Sharon, for sharing your gifts with us. It's amazing what ECPAT USA has been able to do online this year, but this also draws attention to the fact that online exploitation of children sadly increased significantly during the pandemic. Here to welcome you and share information on how ECPAT USA met this moment in child protection is CEO Lori Cohen.
Thank you, Cheryl. Your passion and dedication to protecting our children energizes me each time we speak. Tonight is no exception. Welcome, everyone. I'm Lori Cohen, Chief Executive Officer of ECPAT USA. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. With your support this year, ECPAT USA can provide education and training materials in multiple languages, 17 to be exact, offer free parent workshops in online safety in English and Spanish, protect migrant children along the US-Mexico border, ensure survivors are treated fairly by our justice system, and provide practical tools so that private industry can operate safely and be advocates for children. In March of 2020, when most of the world closed their doors, ECPAT USA predicted a secondary crisis in child sexual exploitation. I have never been so sorry to be right. Schools went online, our children went online, and sadly, predators went online. But during this difficult, complicated time, ECPAT USA remained dedicated to meeting the need for enhanced child protection delivered virtually. Where we had once gone into classrooms, ECPAT USA created virtual curricula for students, schools, educators, parents, and guardians. We partnered with an entire school district on Long Island to address huge vulnerabilities to trafficking. When our industry partners needed support, we provided free resources to ensure trafficking identification and reporting remained a priority. We stayed connected to our Survivors Council, compensating them for their expertise and labor that allowed us to offer panels such as Survivors Get Real about sex trafficking, Engaging Youth to Counter Violence Against Children, and Cyntoia Brown in Conversation on Race and the Criminalization of Trafficked Youth. ECPAT USA can do this because of our incredible staff and because of you, our supporters and partners. We have a wonderful evening for you tonight. During the general program, we'll be honoring 3 incredible individuals who have made a difference in child protection: Chip Rogers, Rose Muckenthaler, and Tina Front. We also have some pretty fun entertainment, including a performance by the inspiring Resistance Revival Chorus. So stick around, celebrate our honorees, bid on our auction, support our work by helping us to unlock our match. While you do, I am honored to introduce our Survivors Council member, Christine Stark. Chris is an award-winning writer, researcher, and visual artist with Anishinaabe and Cherokee ancestry. Here she reads from her powerful new novel, Carnival Lights.
Carnival Lights, Minneapolis, August 1969. The girls ran into the dark street. The pack slapped against Cher's back. In here, she pulled Kristen down a narrow brick alley. A cat ran off. Cher cut behind a garbage can, lost her footing, and slid into a pile of bulky garbage bags. Kristen tumbled behind her. The girls froze like the statue game they used to play. It smelled like fish and sour milk. Footsteps approached. Cher peered between the cans and reached back reflexively to touch Kristen's lips. The well-dressed man stepped into the alley, stopped, and then continued down the sidewalk. Cher watched the street. Kristen watched her head low. The girls did not move. Another man trotted by from the direction of the bus depot. Cher thought, but could not be sure, that it was the second man from the depot. After he passed the alley, Cher looked at Kristen and lifted her eyebrows as if to say, "Who knows?" When the girls were babies, their grandmother pinched their lips to teach them silence. The girls knew how to be still, not make any sound, thoughtful even of the breathing, until their grandmother found them flat on the floor beneath the homemade horsehair stuffed mattress, or under the work shelf in the basement over which their grandmother had draped an old wool blanket to hide them from the white lady social workers who came looking to steal Indian children. The girls stayed in the alley for some time, occasionally glancing behind them where the alley doglegged to the right. A silence rose up, split by sirens and the squeals of wheels. Anxiety rose in Chris. She rested her head on Cher's calf. Cher smoothed her cousin's hair and kept watch, breathing through her mouth to minimize the smell, wanting to spit, but afraid of the sound that would make. Time stilled. The moon edged west. Voices drifted down the alley. Cher hunched, found a crack she could peer through, and then locked her body in that position. Chris buried her head in Cher's legs. The voices neared. The depot men stopped and looked down the alley. Look down there? No need, the well-dressed man said. I would have seen them turn into it. The second man stared down the alley. They're gone, for now. One's Indian, maybe both. We'll find them, the well-dressed man said. Can't hide on these streets forever.
How tremendously moving. Thank you for sharing, Chris. There's information in the chat for anyone interested in ordering Chris's book tonight, and also a signed copy that you can bid on in our auction. As a reminder, please scan the QR code to visit our silent auction or make a donation to ECPET USA. General admission is starting in a moment, so please top off your cocktails, keep your browsers open, and we'll see you after this quick break.
Many people think that sex trafficking only happens in other countries, but it actually happens in the United States. In our neighborhoods.
Not here.
On our streets.
No, it doesn't.
By U.S. law, any child bought or sold in the sex trade is a victim of human trafficking.
Why have I never heard about this before?
On the same websites where you sell a couch, there are sections for buying people.
I could see that.
An abuser might try to isolate a victim and keep them away from their friends.
That would never happen to me.
And I don't want you to think that this is just about girls. Up to half of these victims can be boys.
I wouldn't do that.
There's no such thing as a child prostitute, just a victim of exploitation. And it could be anyone.
She's talking about me. He told me not to tell anyone. Should I say something?
Hello, my name is Michael Vaughn and I am a New York City-based artist, and I cannot tell you how humbled I am to be a part of this incredible evening benefiting ECPAT USA. The privilege of making a difference in a child's life, one that you're never even going to really meet, is humbling. And also how thrilling it is to be cooped up in my apartment doing another virtual event. Can't tell you how excited I am to start socializing with actual humans face to face. Just, as long as we all agree that it is perfectly acceptable to wear sweatpants to any occasion, no matter what. If you're anything like me and you're itching to get away, then get your wallets out and get ready to bid on these items. Grab 2 of those domestic round-trip tickets and soar off to somewhere fabulous. I can't guarantee that there's not going to be a pandemic barking puppy on your flight, but hey, bid on the noise-canceling headphones. Boom, you're set. But Michael, where should we fly to? I don't like telling people what to do. It's your life. Fly wherever you want to go. But we do have some amazing hotel packages. You can head down to Austin, Texas, see what the vibe is like there. If you want a bigger city, hop on over to New York City. You can have a hot dog, you can watch a pigeon poop on somebody's head. Or if that's too glamorous for you, you can go and live a little bit of a laid-back life in Tennessee, listen to some country music. You can bid on my favorite package, the Party Like a Rock Star. And go down to Florida, you stay at the Hard Rock, get a cabana, have dinners, a $250 gift card, have all of the heartburn and hangovers you want. But Michael, I'm not ready to be doing all of that traveling. And to that I say, I got you, girl. You've been in your house all year just staring at all those terrible design choices that you made. So why not bid on that design consultation with Kate Davis and give your nest a little facelift? While you're at it, definitely get that Fairmont bedding bundle. And while everyone else is having their hot back summer, you can be home, relaxing in your new bedding, using your $300 Uber Eats gift card, throwing back sushi that you ordered, and living your best life. Oh, and make sure that you're one of the highest bidders for that wine bundle. I know that all of our at-home collections are completely empty thanks to this last year, and it is imperative that we restock them. God forbid we have another pandemic and no wine. And if you want to be cool, then you got to bid on the private boat. I mean, everybody loves somebody with a private charter boat. I don't know. I didn't make the rules. It is what it is. If you want to have a mad flex, do it with a boat. Actually, if you're trying to do a large flex, then do it by bidding and bidding high. As cool as all of these items are, it's so much greater impacting change in this world. Let's come together and make a difference. Thank you so much for letting me be silly. I'm gonna pass the mic on over to New York One's incredible Cheryl Wills.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl Wills from New York One News, and I'm so proud to be hosting ECPAT USA's Freedom Awards tonight. I want to recommend that you watch this on a laptop or PC for best quality. To bid in our auction, please use your phone to scan the QR code or visit the website linked in the chat. I'm thrilled to announce that all monies raised tonight will be matched up to $30,000 by the Bros family on behalf of the Women Inclusion Project. This evening will be a celebration of child protection work, but I must also share a warning that as we move through the program, some parts may be hard to hear. We encourage you to take care of yourself, and please call the Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 if you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking. The prevention of child sex trafficking and exploitation is one of the most critical problems of our time. That's why I'm here tonight. It's important to me personally. In my own work, I've covered this topic for New York One many times over the years, as recent as last week. And I've written about it extensively by examining my own family history. Very quickly, my family was enslaved and trafficked from West Africa to what is now the United States of America. That's the reason I'm here, because of human trafficking. So I know firsthand the horror that it is and the shame that it's still going on today. So tonight is an evening of education, celebration, and support. You'll learn tonight about the work of ECPAT USA and our phenomenal honorees, Chip Rogers, Rose Muckenthaler, and Tina Front. You also have the opportunity to become an activist yourself. Oh, I see there are 500,000 Marriott Bonvoy points in tonight's auction. I know so many of you are ready to travel after being cooped up at home for more than a year because of the pandemic. So now's your chance. I know that one's going to be hot. And look at this. I also see a bark box for those of you itching to treat your puppies. Hey, they've been isolated too. So truly, there is something here for everyone. So remember to visit that auction. And the other exciting thing I want to remind you about tonight is that through the generosity of the Bros family, on behalf of the Women Inclusion Project, get this, we have a $30,000 match tonight that you can help unlock for ECPAT USA's critical work. And it is critical and it is life-saving. So that's right. Every dollar you spend this evening will be matched up to that amount, 30 grand. So let's listen, learn, and unlock that match together. Now, please enjoy this short video celebrating ECPAT USA's tremendous work through this very unusual year.
ECPAT USA has been protecting children for 30 years. In 2020, the world came together to prevent a global health crisis. But the pandemic created a secondary emergency, a swift increase in vulnerabilities to child sex trafficking and exploitation.
We were forced to go online, and unfortunately, so did the traffickers. Online sexual exploitation of children isn't new. But with schools closed, the economy unstable, and parents ill and in crisis, vulnerabilities increased dramatically. In the first half of 2020, there was a 93% increase in online enticement reports. At ECPAT USA, our work is to prevent these crimes. We were ready.
Schools closed, but our teaching never stopped. We made connections with students, parents, and educators. Our prevention education programs are interactive and focus on student leadership and creativity. We teach skills to build healthy relationships, understand online safety, and build community support networks. And we do it by building rapport. Kids don't want a lecture. They want a lesson in which they are the main actors, and we are their guides. We also created actual online safety guides so teens, parents, and educators can understand the foreign language of technology and its intersection with traffickers. Es importante tener la información que necesitamos en nuestro idioma. He ahí el por qué creamos estas guías de seguridad en línea. Para proteger a la juventud, hay que tener acceso a la información.
他们也有中文版本. They also have it available in Chinese.
This past year has seen enormous and historical developments, both from the pandemic, but also in the field of social justice. And ECPAT USA has tried so deeply to engage on multiple levels with our survivors, with our supporters, and most importantly with the children who we're trying to protect when we're all operating in a virtual environment. ECPAT USA is going to continue to innovate, to do the best job we can to protect our children, and to work closely with our partners to make sure that children everywhere are safe.
We need to break down the narratives around trafficking. Child sex trafficking occurs when someone under the age of 18 is bought or sold for sexual purposes. This issue is much more prevalent than people tend to conceptualize. Yes, it happens globally, but also here throughout the 50 states. The lack of public awareness on this issue continues to be a barrier in terms of protecting and providing services to survivors. Unfortunately, we find survivors re-victimized by the criminal justice system. We want to strengthen gaps within the social safety net and ensure survivors' rights both inside and outside the courtroom.
Kids are treated like mini criminals instead of children who are responding to the things that they've learned, the things that they've been taught, the situations that they've been placed in by adults, by the adults around them, by the systems around them. And all of a sudden that's the responsibilities placed on them.
ECPAT USA works with lawmakers to educate them on the harms of trafficking and why we need to expand trauma-informed services to support survivors.
In a difficult year, we maintained connections with the hospitality industry and supported their anti-trafficking work by offering free resources. We made sure that hotels understood in 17 languages the importance of keeping their staff trained and alert to noticing behaviors that indicated trafficking, even when protocols kept people at a distance. With Marriott and AHLA's support, nearly 500,000 hotel employees took advantage of our free e-learning.
I've worked in the hotel industry for almost 20 years. The ECPAT USA training is an invaluable resource to our team. After hearing ECPAT USA at the virtual AHLA Safety Summit earlier this year, I shared my notes with my 8th grade daughter, Natalie. She used that information, as well as the Unpacking Human Trafficking report, to write to the governor of our state, Colorado, petitioning for laws mandating signage about human trafficking here in Colorado.
Dear Governor Polis, did you know that over 20.9 million people are trafficked worldwide each year? This is a severe issue both globally and nationally, and even happens here in Colorado. Many U.S. states have laws mandating signage about human trafficking in places such as airports, hotels, train stations, restaurants, bus stations, rest areas, truck stops, etc. Colorado does not have a law like this. I am urging you to mandate signage about human trafficking in our state. Governor Polis, Colorado should join other states in mandating signage about human trafficking. ECPAT USA says that awareness is one of the most important ways to fight human trafficking and support victims. Please consider mandating human trafficking signage laws for Colorado.
I've been working in IT for a number of years. I guess this was my year to shine. We had to learn to connect as a team so we could show up for the kids. As an office without a physical space, we had to connect somehow in order for our work to succeed. We hosted movie night, had lunches, baked cookies together, all virtually.
When New York City's annual 5-borough bike ride was canceled because of the pandemic, ECPAT USA saw an opportunity to bring increased meaning to what had been a fun annual event. Members of our Survivors Council shared with us where they had been trafficked in New York City. It spanned warehouse districts in the Bronx to luxury hotels on Fifth Avenue and private homes on Staten Island.
We mapped out a route through all 5 boroughs to highlight that trafficking can happen anywhere. Last month, ECPAT USA spread this message again with our partners in Suffolk County, Long Island. Our ride ranged from the Riverhead Correctional Center to the Shinnecock Nation Reservation to the glamorous beaches of the Hamptons. Through these rides, ECPAT USA celebrates the tenacity and leadership of our greatest partners, survivors everywhere.
As we move forward, we're focused on the core principles of trust and safety, celebrating the survivor experience, and turning avoidance into action. Communications at ECPAT USA isn't just about writing a compelling post or finding the perfect hashtag, although you should be following us on social media. It's about reaching out to the community and saying, hey, this is how you help us solve this problem. Like, this is how you make sure no child is bought, sold, or used for sex.
As the daughter of a human trafficking survivor, I understand firsthand how trauma is generational and weaves into every single component of that person and their family's lives. I came to a point in my life where I was guided by my faith to fulfill a greater purpose. I joined the ECPAT USA Board of Directors in part to honor my mother and to help eradicate the sexual exploitation and human trafficking of our children. The value that ECPAT USA places on survivor expertise is real, and its impact is felt in each area of our programs.
Wow, I'm just incredibly moved right now by the work of this organization with this problem. It can feel overwhelming sometimes. It seems so big, right, to know how to get involved, but really, it comes down to you. ECPAT USA has made it easy to become an activist for child protection. I invite you to check out their activist packs right now, where you'll get the tools you need to take action yourself. Speaking of action, I hope to turn your attention to the work of our first honoree. American Hotel and Lodging Association President and CEO Chip Rogers. Well, he's spent a career making it possible for the hospitality industry to act and prevent child trafficking.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm Eric Jacobs, ECPAT USA Board Member and Chief Development Officer of International Growth at Marriott International. It is my honor to present tonight's Freedom Award to President and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, Chip Rogers. Chip has been sounding the alarm for years. At a time when many in our industry were hesitant to acknowledge this problem, Chip recognized how child trafficking intersected with the hotel industry. He understood change was possible and has since led the charge to partner with organizations like ECPAT USA. During Chip's time at AHLA, he has led the No Room for Trafficking campaign. His continued leadership and collaboration on prevention and disruption are an inspiration to all in the industry, myself included. Last year was not an easy one for our industry, but Chip kept his commitment to champion anti-trafficking training and signal to traffickers that the hotel industry will not be used to facilitate these crimes. In fact, AHLA helped ECPAT USA to make our anti-trafficking training, developed with Marriott International and Polaris, free. This training is available in 17 languages. It provides critical information about how to spot and respond to instances of trafficking. In 2020 alone, the training was accessed by nearly 500,000 additional hotel employees so they could become part of the solution. Chip understands that ending trafficking requires a long-term focus. Through grants and funding from the AHLA Foundation, ECPAT USA has been able to produce reports that help hotels across all 50 states and various jurisdictions to remain compliant with anti-trafficking signage and training laws. Chip is a steadfast partner, an inspiration to the private sector, and a visionary. Thank you, Chip, for helping create a world where no child is bought, sold, or used for sex.
Thank you so much, Eric. I am honored to be part of this program tonight and really just to be a small part of everything that ECPAT USA is doing to stop human trafficking. You know, our industry plays a vital role in making sure that human trafficking does not have a home in hotels anywhere. A number of years ago, when I had the honor of becoming the president and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, we created a goal that we knew we might not ever make, but a goal that we would always strive to make, and that is to make sure that human trafficking never happens in hotels by ensuring that every single hotel employee in the United States receives training. Well, I'm proud to announce today that we're well on our way towards that goal. Now, in the last year, almost 500,000 U.S. hotel employees have been trained to see the signs of human trafficking, to know what to do when they see those signs, and that is going to make a difference. We play a small part in the hotel industry of what is a much larger effort led by ECPAT USA. We're very grateful to play the role that we do, but even more grateful for the effort that ECPAT USA is doing to stop human trafficking. I thank you so much for my ability and my team to be honored with this award, but it really is all about what ECPAT USA is doing and all of you are doing to help stop human trafficking. So thanks for having us here at this program. We'll continue to work on this issue. We'll continue to partner with ECPAT USA, and we'll continue to stop human trafficking everywhere we find it.
I don't know about you, but I am impressed. We are showing up in private industry through collaboration and partnership to make the systemic changes that need to happen to protect our children. They're not someone else's child. They're our children all over the world. And of course, we need money to get this work done, so don't forget about tonight's match. Right now, I'm so proud to introduce Irina Makaruk, who is an ECPAT USA board member, a Survivors Council member, and a tireless advocate for children, to present our Defender Award to Detective Rose Muckenthaler.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening, everyone. I am so proud to be here today. My name is Irina Makaruk, and I'm a member of ECPAT USA's Board of Directors and our Survivor Council liaison. I'm so proud to be giving tonight's Defender Award to Rose Muckenthaler, or Detective Rose as many call her. Rose's work models the best in trauma and survivor-informed law enforcement. But for me, it's personal. I met Detective Rose in the fall of 2013. She came along with another detective from the NYPD Anti-Trafficking Unit to interview me about the exploitation that happened to me. I felt very, very nervous at the time, and a lot of other emotions were welling up inside of me. I liked Detective Rose immediately. She had a very cool, multicolored hair at that time, and she immediately put me at ease. But what had the lasting impact on me was the fact that Detective Rose was kind and respectful. I felt comfortable and safe sharing my pain. Over the years, I have watched Detective Rose assist so many other young ladies who have been victims of sex trafficking with the same compassion, integrity, and courage as she extended towards me in 2013. Recently, one of her girls, as she calls them, contacted Detective Rose because she did not have any clothes for a job interview at McDonald's in Queens. Rose went through her own closet and made sure to get the perfect suit. A week later, the young lady was hired. Detective Rose has 20 years of working to support and defend children. In the summer of 2000, Detective Rose was assigned to the Vice Enforcement Division, where she became one of the few people who saw this problem for what it was: children sexually abused by predators and then re-victimized by being put into the system. She has been a tireless defender of kids, and we see her impact as we see laws changing to protect, not prosecute. From 2003 through 2006, Detective Rose was part of the human trafficking team, and then for 3 years, she was with the NYPD, FBI, Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. She has helped hundreds and hundreds of children with her life-saving work. Detective Rose is not only a very dear friend to me, but she is also my hero. Her work ensures that justice is served for trafficking victims. It's an honor to know her and to award her with the well-deserved ACPET USA Defender Award.
21 years ago, I was assigned to the NYPD Rights Enforcement Division, and it was here that I discovered that children and women were being exploited by traffickers, and their voices were not being heard. Children and women were known to society as prostitutes. They were put into the system without any resources. It was their fault, and they wanted to do this. Throughout the years, I saw laws in the court system adapting to the growing crisis. The justice system is now doing a better job in recognizing victims as what they really are, victims and survivors. Since 2006, the NYPD Human Trafficking Team and I rescued and recovered hundreds of trafficking victims, including missing and runaway children. I have rescued victims of sex trafficking right in front of their traffickers performing undercover operations. I see what others don't. They are confused, tired, afraid, shocked, nervous, worried, embarrassed, frustrated, disgusted, and ashamed. Imagine being forced to perform sexual acts every day, 20 to 30 times a day, with strangers. Getting raped is what this is. Being told by the traffickers to keep going because I love you. Do it for us. Being told don't trust the police and don't talk to them. This is what I'm confronted with. Anyone can do police work, but it takes passion, patience, devotion, and dedication to work sex trafficking cases. It's giving voice to the voiceless. In 2006, I had a trafficking case with a missing 13-year-old child that was forced into prostitution. She was raped 25 times a day and beaten if she did not make enough money. I remember this case like if it was yesterday. She began to tell me how much her pimp cared about her. I then asked her, "Do you want to know who I care about?" She responded, "Who do you care about, Detective Rose?" I took out a mirror from my purse and placed it in front of her face and said, "You." She smiled and cried. She testified and her trafficker was sent to prison. A few months ago, I received a call from police headquarters. They informed me that a woman was looking for me. I called the number that they gave me. The first words I heard were, "Detective Rose, it's Jasmine. You helped me when I was 13 years old, and I wanted to tell you thank you. I could have been dead and no one would have cared. Thank you for helping me." Jasmine is now 28 years old and graduated from college and has 2 kids. I have 23 years with the NYPD, 21 years in the Rights Enforcement Division. It's impossible to sum up 21 years of work in 3 minutes. But it's stories like Jasmine's that remind me how much of an effect this work can have on people's lives. While working in the Rights Enforcement Division, I've seen so much change, but there's still much more to do. I would like to give a special thank you to an amazing lady, Irina. She calls me a superhero, but the superheroes are my survivors, my girls. Thank you.
Bravo. That is powerful work. Please join me now in listening to the Resistance Revival Chorus.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm Erin Maya of the Resistance Revival Chorus, and I'm honored to share our music here with you tonight in support of the work of ECPAT USA, and as a reminder that we all have a light within us. When we shine it on tough topics like we are doing tonight, we can make a collective impact to protect children from exploitation. Trafficking takes place globally and within the United States. It can happen in cities, suburbs, and rural areas and affects children from all walks of life. But together, we can create a world where no child is ever bought, sold, or used for sex.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Deep down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Deep down in my heart,
Wasn't that beautiful? What a phenomenal performance. And that leads me to our next honoree, our Survivor Advocate Award. But first, let's check out that leaderboard. What does it mean to support survivors and be an advocate? Well, our next award goes to Tina Front, the founder and CEO of Courtney's House. Now, this is a story you need to hear.
Thank you, Cheryl. Hi, Tina. Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Maya, and I'm a proud member of ECPAT USA Survivors Council. I'm so honored tonight to give the Survivor Advocate Award to Tina Front, president and founder of Courtney's House. To me, Tina exemplifies what the ECPAT USA Freedom Awards are all about. Tina is recognized as a true survivor leader and advocate in the fight against human trafficking. The memory of the first day I met Tina Front will stay with me forever. Decades after leaving the life I'd survived in the streets of New York, I had that aha moment, a true epiphany, and I self-identified as a victim for the first time in my life. And I just needed direction, and I needed education and resources. And as I searched for where I might begin my own journey of advocacy, I was blessed to find Tina Front. And I remember that first conversation like it was yesterday. At that point in my life, I had no trust in the human race, none. And I felt Tina cared, and she truly listened as I spoke with her. I'd never told anyone anything about my own experiences, and I didn't even know there were other victims and survivors of human trafficking. As I spoke with Tina, my trust began to grow. Talking with her was the first time in my entire life that I'd spoken with anyone and shared anything about my own story. I felt like I mattered, like I truly mattered. Since that day, over 10 years ago, Tina has been just an invaluable advocate, mentor, and colleague. After founding Courtney's House in 2008, Tina and her organization have helped hundreds of countless children escape from being trafficked and to begin to find a new life. Tina trains law enforcement and other nonprofit groups to help and provide resources to survivors and their families. She's a member of the Washington, D.C. Anti-Trafficking Task Force, as well as the Prince George's County Human Trafficking Task Force. In 2010, Tina was awarded the Frederick Douglass Award. She's testified before the U.S. Congress about her own experiences and the need for greater protection and services for all trafficked persons. Courtney's House fearlessly supports children forced into trafficking. It embraces survivors and brings them into a safe environment where they and their families can begin to heal, recover, and develop hopeful, dignified, influential, and productive lives. It trains community officials and creates awareness of the reality of sex trafficking in the United States and in neighborhoods all across America to help stop these crimes from even happening. Tina Front is powerful, compassionate, passionate, determined, and whether she admits it or not, soft-hearted. She has boundless energy, is quick to laugh, and as all of us here know, her life's mission is making a difference in the lives of all survivors of sex trafficking. I'm honored to present Tina Front with the 2021 ECPAT USA Survivors Advocate Award. Thank you, Tina.
Wow. Thank you so much, Barbara and Maya. That meant so much to me. And the reason I'm saying Barbara Maya, she knows. So let me tell you a fun story. I love calling her that. I told her that on the first day that I met her. I just think it's so badass, her name. And she's a badass individual. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate this. Thank you so much, ECPAT USA, for recognizing all the work that not only that I have done, but that I have accomplished. When I think about this award, accepting it, it really had me start thinking about where this all began. I believe that from the very beginning, sometimes we know what we're supposed to do, or there are signs all around us that we don't pay attention to later. I always knew that I couldn't work for anybody else. I'm way too opinionated, have ideas and visions that I feel should go, and sometimes they may not. So I knew that I wanted to start my own business. I just didn't know what it was going to be. I've always helped people my whole life, even when I was in situations that I shouldn't have been in as a child. Which brings me to my vision. People told me I couldn't do this. They told me all the time, my whole life, that I wasn't gonna be shit, that I was just a hoe. I had to overcome that. I had wonderful parents who adopted me, but I had to feel that within. And guess what? Courtney's House did that for me. Starting Courtney's House and being able to help boys and girls that went through the same experience as me humbles me every day. I love my job. It's not even a job, it's a passion. Thank you so much at PAC USA for recognizing it, seeing it, and all the survivors. I will continue to help. I don't really accept this award for me. I accept this for all the youth I have ever helped and the many, many, many more to come. Thank you for recognizing me. Sometimes as an African-American survivor, if you live in a silo, and it feels so good that so many people support Courtney's House. Thank you all so very much. And thank you, Barbara.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Barbara and Tina. And thank you all, in particular, American Airlines and CWT, for your leadership. If you're here with us, it's because you recognize that children are vulnerable, but they are not alone. Organizations like ECPAT USA and supporters like you really do make a difference. This is not just any old charity. This is a charity that is making a difference, saving lives. So you are part of that, and we congratulate you for taking action. So please get your activist pack, help us unlock the match, set your privacy controls, sign up for free quarterly parent training. You know how important that is now, and spend your travel dollars on companies that support this work. As a reminder, our silent auction will be open until 9:00 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to bid before then. Together, we can create a world where no child is bought, sold, or used for sex. That's the kind of world I want to live in. I know you do too. Thanks for being here. I'm Cheryl Wills. Have a good night. Stay safe.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine.